everyone, welcome to my channel. I have been wanting to make this video for such a long time, so I'm very excited. And today I'm going to be talking about something that literally blew my mind, but not in a good way. Stay tuned. See, this is why I got off TikTok. Y'all can't be trusted. TikTok has made many trends, but I have never seen something as bizarre as this. Children of the Waning Star. What started as a joke post by Miss Gigi Jarvis blew up into a full-blown cult.
Hi, cult leader here.
This cult was trending across the internet for a total of 5 days. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't TikTok just that app where people eat weird foods, do a couple dances, maybe pull a prank or two? That's what I thought too. And that's why I got off the app in 2024, because I knew some weird stuff like this was going to happen. If you would have asked me this back then, I would have said yes to. But on July 10th, 2025, a month ago, honestly, which is crazy. It feels like 5 months have passed, but it's only been a month. Gigi casually, it was casual, she casually joked about starting a cult, and lo and behold, that's what it became. You're probably wondering, who on earth would join a cult started by some random girl on the internet? You would be surprised. You would be surprised. And at first, I thought it was a little bizarre, maybe even a little weird, like, why do this? But when it comes to cults, apparently, at least from my understanding as an outsider, cults have this appealing allure to them because it gives people a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. Like a family situation, kinda, I think, maybe. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have given this cult a second glance, but the numbers is what shocked me. In a matter of 5 days, this cult has gone from 0 followers to 150,000 almost overnight. And that kind of traction is kind of unsettling. It's just, if you think about it, there's tons of initiatives out there, tons of programs, probably fundraisers looking for support you probably don't even have to pay anything to be a part of, and these particular organizations may not even get like a tenth of that amount of traction that this cult gained in days. All right, now I don't know, I just want you guys to grasp the concept of just how crazy this is. Whether you want to call these people cultists, devotees, enthusiasts, it does not matter. These people were dedicated and they were showing up and they were ready. Whatever you want, Gigi, I'm here for you, boo. That's how they felt. Now I want to do somewhat of a deep dive on the origins of this 5-day cult. How it all began, you know the gist. Not only that, but a closer look at the cult leader herself. We're gonna look her in the face and go, bro, why would you do this? What gets me most is the psychology behind how she did what she did and the ignorance behind her, how do I put this? How she claims that she did it unknowingly, but the moves involved feel very calculated. Let me explain. For starters, I don't think I could even bring myself to jokingly post a video about starting a cult. The way she did it with such a blasé attitude was so jarring, and I think that's the point. I think she did it that way intentionally because if you're just a regular viewer, you know what cults are, you know about them, you know about the harm they've done to people, you know like the connotation behind the word. If you were to hear someone with the delivery that she gave about starting a cult on the internet, you would stop for a second and be like, is this girl serious? And it will rouse a level of confusion and maybe even intrigue. And if that's intentional, can't knock a girl for doing her thing. That's actually pretty freaking smart, in my opinion. And honestly, it's probably why she got the amount of backlash she did. Using the word so casually, almost flippantly, can come across disrespectful. It feels like it glosses over what cults really are and the harm that they have actually caused to people and their lives and their livelihoods. Day 1 of the Cult of the Waning Star.
I'm starting a cult and you guys are all going to be a part of it. The first thing I want to start doing is Victim of the Week, where whoever drops the funniest photo in my comment section, I'm going to steal your profile picture and become you for a whole week.
At first, like I said, it seemed pretty harmless. Cult is like run by some girl in her bedroom, it seems, cracking jokes and speaking with this laid back, blasé attitude. It's such a strange contrast. Calling it a cult, but delivering it like she was inviting you to a sleepover? Girl. I mean, imagine the same video had been made by some 40-something-year-old guy with no nose threatening to take over the wizarding world. Everyone and their mama would be so quick to hit that report button and get his account deleted, he wouldn't even be able to blink. It would happen so fast. But because she was a young woman leaning into humor, it seemed harmless. Approachable even. And for a lot of people, maybe that's exactly what they were looking for. A place to belong. Someplace bigger than themselves. In theory, that doesn't sound terrible. But historically, handing that much power to someone never goes well. Still, aside from the official announcement, she starts off day 1 with a brainstorming session. She uses the first part to announce the cult and the second part to pretty much pull you in and make you feel like you're a part of it without officially joining. In a way, she proposes that we start with the rules of engagement, like what are our holidays, what are our colors, what are our, like this, that, and the third. The way she structures these videos seems like they were poised and ready to take off. She starts off the video with something outrageous to grab your attention. Then towards the middle, it starts the call to action segment where she starts asking open-ended questions like, okay, we're going to have these holidays, drop your comments, top comment gets a shout out. And doing so, when there's like hundreds and thousands of people commenting on your video, it's poised and primed and ready to take off at that point. Anyways, moving on to day 2. A lot of stuff happens on day 2. A total of 3 videos were released on day 2.
Hi, cult leader here. We have a popular cult member request and I want to make it law. But I was wondering what day you guys think we should do this on and also what we should do each month.
The first one just goes over user suggestions for the cult, you know, normal stuff. And then it gets a little more bizarre.
Maybe each month we comment photos of our animals as a sacrifice. Those are just some suggestions.
Like, excuse me? Come again, girl? Granted, no physical harm is being done, but that's a crazy joke to make. This is like entering into like cult behavior territory. Red flag. Then she releases a video stating all of the qualities that make her an amazing cult leader. Before you think she's jumping to like regular examples like I have great leadership skills or I work well with people or I have good time management. Nope. Instead she says this.
Now that I've gaslit you into our cult, I'm going to explain to you why I'm the perfect leader with all the reasons I should be canceled for. Number 1, I was one of those cringe anime TikTokers in 2020. I might have started the Levi Ackerman x Alvin and the Chipmunks ship, but that just showcases that I'm really good at leading a movement. Number 2 is that I snuck into FurryCon, which showcases that I get the job done. Number 3 is that on my other account, I used to make videos saying run, don't walk to the TikTok shop, which showcases my heart is full of evil and perfect for the cause.
Everything she says just sounds like more jokes, honestly. She makes a joke about anime characters and furries, like some weird crossover that I want nothing to do with. Then the very last video is her announcing that we should come up with a symbol for the group, like an emoji or something, I think. Something along those lines. I don't know, a little confused on the terminology here. It's technically an emoji, but it's like a symbol, you know, for the cult. But then she ends the video with this.
It is now time to choose our cult symbol. This is how we know who is in the inn. Don't think of the emoji as a texting thing. Think of it as me literally coming to you and branding it onto your skin.
Like, is this not bizarre? Is this not weird? Like, TikTok is full of children. Children are impressionable. You can't say things like that and expect it to not have repercussions, especially with the youth. Their minds are like little sponges, looking for information to take in and emulate. And if you think I'm being overly cautious, I did my research and I came across videos like this.
death of God.
What is going on? No, these are legitimately people taking this serious and doing this within the confines of their bedrooms. Like, is it like, no, stop. And like kids use this app, like young kids. I'm talking like 5, 6. And at 5 or 6, you don't have the same level of reasoning as like an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old who would know better than to listen to some girl in her bedroom and not carve things into their skin. That's all I'm saying. Day 3 rolls around and yay, the emoji symbol has been selected.
Congratulations, we have officially selected the symbols for our cult. We are doing the fingerprint and then the star, like above. Honorable mention to cult member One Silly Billy because they have the most likes on their comment, but I couldn't video stitch it. So congratulations, once you fall asleep, I'm going to sneak into your home and carve it into your skin. But in the meantime, feel free to put it in your bio or other places. See you soon.
Like, if you use these emojis in your bio on TikTok, apparently that's like your way of announcing to the world, hey, I'm a part of XYZ. And funny enough, when people started doing this, it legitimately started causing division amongst users on TikTok. It's like certain groups of people were like, I don't want to associate with people from this cult. Like, I don't want to be in association with you. Like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. If you are a part of this cult, like, you can unfriend me at this point. Like, it got that deep in 3 days. She also announces the name for the cult. Up until now, it wasn't even called Children of the Waning Sun. It didn't have a name. It was just called a cult. She also proposes a lore for the cult, like a story, an origin story of how the cult began, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know cults had lores. Maybe I need to do more research myself, you know? So as we approach day 4, I want everyone to acknowledge that this is where I notice a shift occur. She starts to reveal that this cult is bigger than her. Like, at this point, it's hundreds of thousands of people, like large, like hundreds of thousands of people have joined this cult. And she is saying like her manager is finding out about it. People she works with, people she lives with, people she knows in real life is coming to her like, you're a cult leader now?
Yeah, I got a call from my manager and she was like, what's this about cults I hear? And I'm like, girl, don't even worry about it. But basically, if you're an actor, you're not really supposed to have a social media presence if you're going for TV show and movie roles. This is because casting directors will look you up to make sure you haven't been canceled. Thing is, if you search me up, cult leader pops up now.
So yeah, at this point, all the following videos of this, mind you, we're on day 4. This is a 5-day cult. Something tells me this was the catalyst for the downfall of the cult. She also even says that someone told her it's not in her best interest to start a cult on TikTok, especially if you're trying to be an actress, because those two things don't really go together, you know? And it's normally at this point where people start to realize that the things they do online have real life consequences. That's when we start seeing things kind of pivot and change and take on a different aura, if you will, or a different label, you know? Like, you don't come with the same energy anymore once you realize that the things you put on the internet can affect you in real life. But sure enough, she tries to make light of the situation yet again. She tries to say, wouldn't it be fun if we all went on like Jimmy Fallon and dressed up as cult people and like stood there with like a blank stare, like, Jimmy, something like that, right? I'm pretty sure that's what she says. And it's like, I don't think now is the time for humor. The very next video is deciding the lore, the entity of the cult.
Many members have mentioned an entity come and visit them. Was the entity the waning star itself, or maybe a mythical creature that guards the star?
Now it's time for the next phase. She says now we can name the entity and present it with offerings. Girl, what the heck? Girl, what the heck?
Once we figure out what the entity is, we can then name it and then provide offerings.
If you have been paying attention thus far, like, wake up. You know, I think it's safe to say it's a full-blown cult, right? Once you start mentioning sacrifices, it's like, GG's. And like, her day 4 demeanor is so different from the previous days. There's jokingness there, but it's like more serious, it feels. I don't like it. And then day 5 comes around, and this is where we announce the end of the cult. It's no longer a cult. It's...
Hey guys, so we're not going to use the word cult anymore to describe us. Which honestly makes sense, because we're just a community that uses dark aesthetics. No one is actually doing rituals or sacrificing an animal, I hope. Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here as my actual self and be transparent as I can about everything going on, because it's insane. But yeah, a lot of people have been asking me, like, what exactly are we and what are our goals moving forward? And I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. But to start it all off, we're on day 5. We're on day 5 and we have nearly 150,000 people, which is insane. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but 6 days ago, I was a nobody. I'm not some influencer that came on here and I was like, guys, literally join my cult. No, I put my dog down, had my birthday, and was just like, I feel crazy. I'm going to post something crazy. And then all of a sudden, a lot of you came to me and was just like, I'm down to be a part of something. And that's when it hit me. I was like, this can be something amazing. This could be something really great. And for me, my goals with Children of the Waning Star currently is I want us to create an inclusive community that thrives off kindness. I know that is such a cornball thing to say, and I know it's ironic, especially calling it a cult. But my friends told me, like, hey, you should monetize this. You should make subscriptions. I've heard people say make initiations. But no, I personally don't want that. If you want to be a part of this, I want you here. I want you here, and that's enough, you know? I know a lot of people have been, like, DMing me on Instagram. They're like, hey, like, what can I do to prove that I'm worthy of... You're enough, I promise you. And I want to make a group of people that can showcase to you that, like, you matter. And I want to implement, and I've been trying to implement this, but a voting system. I like the idea that I can ask a question, like, what do we think about this? And y'all get to tell me what you think. I love scrolling through that stuff. And it's so kind, it's so awesome to see that, like, I'm used to trolls. I'm used to hate accounts, you know, like, and I'll look at someone's response to, like, I think this idea in the comment section is all just people responding to them being like, I like it too, like, this is awesome. And it's like, wow, people have a place, a third-party place where they can be heard and accepted for who they are, their ideas, their creativity. And wow, how beautiful is that? That's crazy. And like I said, I was a nobody a few days ago. And I mean, I know I said I was an anime TikToker, but, like, I only had the viral Levi and, like, Alvin ship. Like, I wasn't a big account. This is the biggest platform I've ever been a part of. And with that, I know that there's responsibilities, and we're on day 5, and I know it's a lot to ask, like, guys, be patient with me, but, like, genuinely, I feel like a good relationship, it can't be me coming to you being like, my brother has Down syndrome and autism, I do nonprofits for a living. Like, I can't just info dump on you, because then all of a sudden you're gonna be like, okay, it's performative, you know? And I guess I'm asking to be given a little grace during this time, because I know in my heart I have good intentions, and anything I do, I am trying to do, like, for, I don't know, like, you. And I know that, like, being called a cult was not the best. There's definitely other names to call this, but now that because of using a clickbait word, we have developed this into a platform, a cultural movement. The engagement is so high. I would love to give back in a sense that I'm posting resources about, like, what is a cult, like, how to navigate that. Also, I would love to do mental health. I would love to showcase, like, things that could help the members of this.
She starts the video with, hi guys, I want to come over here with my real self, pretty much saying that every other video was not really her. You know, kind of distancing her from the situation. Yeah, I see you. I see what you're doing. Like, a way of trying not to take accountability for it, in a way. She then starts saying, I don't even know what cult means. And it's like, who doesn't? And I really, really do want to believe her. But Miss Gigi Jarvis has her degree in sociology. She knows what a cult is. Alright, now instead of it being a cult, she just wants to start an inclusive community centered on kindness. Why didn't it have that term in the beginning? Why'd you have to call it a cult? That's all I want to know. That's all everyone wants to know. That's pretty much the rise and fall of Children of the Waning Star. I don't even want to get into the other videos because it's more backpedaling and her saying she's pretty much being internet bullied for something that she started, you know, with little information on. But that's not, I'm not here to do that. If you want to know, go watch her videos. I'm done talking about this. Anyways, that's been the video. If you want to see me talk about more things, comment down below more subjects for me to talk about, and I'll see you next time. Bye.